So, you want to hear a story? Well, have I got one for you?
A lot of people around here with guns, so kind of helps to have an itchy trigger finger.
Do you know that it takes approximately 7 pounds of pressure to rip one of these bad boys off?
As soon as he clocks that, he just darts for the shadows.
As a, deep, cynical character flaw, I pretty much assume everybody's hiding something all the time.
My boss was like, "Oh, you gotta fight this guy, or you're gonna get another bullet in the head." And I was like, "Okay."
Just starting off with a bang, this is Borderlands.
When we last left off, our crew of mouse and miscreants had saved Dr. Phara Celsus from the murderous cult of the risen children of the Firehawk, eliminating every member of the cult save for Peaches, an immolator psycho that was convinced to fight alongside our crew. It was revealed that Fidget had the power to phase lock, a mighty siren ability. Defeating the cult, our heroes got a well-earned rest and were able to explore the camp as night descended on the Iridium Blight. And it is here, as our crew gather around the lava pit like a ceremonial bonfire, that we resume our tale of vaults and villains.
After finding various spots to rest and recharge some of your various devices and tech, you all gather as the last bits of sunset fade over the horizon and the night is dark. The emblazed symbol of the Firehawk lights the sky, but even this can barely penetrate the dark sky as Mount Hellsfront constantly expels its smoke into the air. Just for you guys, kind of exploring the area before you bedded down for the evening, the compound that you're in used to be the Hyperion Slagma vapor extraction plant. Basically, when the underground lava tunnels run over raw iridium, it mixes with the volcanic gases to create quite potent poisonous gas. The effect of which can range from eye, skin, and throat irritation, similar to tear gas, or causing severe breathing difficulties, slag sickness, and even death, depending on the concentration of the various chemicals within the gases. And so the plant basically had ways of extracting them and measuring their chemical content, if you will, and then using them for various purposes, from crowd control to, covert ops. So that steel rigging that you guys were all on that formed that little kind of makeshift structure worked its way into the mountain, and as you guys kind of peer on in there, it's just a bunch of machinery that still seems moderately functional. But if any of you want to venture in further, and try to check it, you certainly can, but note that for most of you not wearing breathing apparatus, it may be hazardous for prolonged periods of time.
It's a good thing I checked out my tech, because I do have scan area poisons.
Nice.
Hey.
I can identify specific pockets, I think, probably.
In exploring a bit, you see the compound, cuts into the various ridges that forms those places, and you also There's various makeshift tents and shacks which act as like the dormitories for the cult, and they are disgusting. Got a bunch of psychos crammed into bunk beds. Not pretty. Most of you probably don't sleep in those.
I think I have a bedroll, so I'm good.
Yeah, me too.
But for the start of this, I say you guys are all gathered, like you said, gathered around this makeshift fire pit. You know, just kind of taking a breather, finishing up your rests, and chatting. But it is Dr. Phara Celsus, who, to you, Fidget, thank you. He's like, thank you again for obviously like saving my life and coming to my aid. It is greatly appreciated. But I need to know what is up with you. I was trapped in some extra dimensional bubble, the likes of which I have never seen, and I need to understand it.
So Fidget's like, yeah, about that. And he goes, Kimmy, are you recording right now?
I mean, I'm always recording, but if you want, I can turn it off for a little bit.
Yeah. I'd like that.
She's gonna do that.
And so Fidget pulls down the hood, takes the mask off, which, just by the by, the gas mask I'm wearing that's for flavor. It's actually a part of my disguise kit. It's not functional.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I couldn't use that to go into a poisonous gas situation.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought you actually used some of the intro money to purchase an actual gas mask. Okay.
No, just flavor-wise, it's a part of my disguise kit.
Nice.
Because underneath the mask and hood, instead of an 11-year-old child, it's actually a young adult tink female. If you're familiar with Schitt's Creek, she looks like Stevie.
Wow, this whole thing just got a lot weirder.
Which is like hugely what I based her personality off. So she just kind of looks at you and goes, so my name's Eleanor, and I'm apparently a siren. Hi.
So much information in such a short span of time.
Yeah, Tegan fights the urge to like lift you into the air and like, where's Fidget? Like,
did you eat him?
what did you do with our son?
Thing is, we have a daughter and a son instead of two sons.
Yeah. Like, yeah, so I guess maybe you have more of a sister, maybe, but I have my reasons why I've been not specifically trying to trick you guys, just there's certain people I don't want to find me, and I didn't know right away if I could trust you all, and I feel like I can.
I think a lot of us can find that feeling pretty relatable.
Yeah, I think that works.
Yeah, so, I'm gonna maintain the disguise, but I feel like I owed an explanation to you guys, especially after what just happened.
Still going by Fidget, then?
Yes. And especially when we get back to the pirate ship, if we can avoid any of them knowing, I don't know, if maybe we could use clever editing in the video footage or something, maybe, I don't know. Or, I don't know. I mean, it's something I've been thinking about for a long time, both me as the player and the character. And I mean, if people knew I was a siren, as long as, certain people didn't know exactly who I am specifically, it might not be that big of a deal.
I mean, say no more. Anything that's scarce in this universe, somebody tries to monetize, so secret's safe with us, I think.
You see Dr.
Sealed.
You see Dr. Celsus
Hawk
like
gives
furiously
Dr.
writing.
Celsus kind of a hard look.
Just stops writing for a second, closes her little flip book. And this is fascinating. It had been theorized that in the events of like the last, great upheaval with this planet, some of the siren powers were stolen. It has been theorized that as like a universal counterbalance, like there was yet another siren born while these powers still existed. It's never been a proven theory. It's only been like a thought problem. But this is incredible. This could mean that it's actually true. There may be other implications involving this as well. There might be another so-called Firehawk out in this universe. But this is incredible. So you're telling me you genuinely, without the aid of tech, have the ability to phase lock?
Yeah, and just kind of like does that kind of like looking down and kicking the dirt on the ground kind of thing, and just goes, "You seem to know a lot more about this than I do."
Well, it was my primary job. I did iridium experiments, primarily for Hyperion. So of course we learned everything we could about the sirens and was an avid follower of Sirentology. But this is absolutely incredible.
Do you know Tannis?
I don't personally. We've never had the pleasure of meeting. But of course, I read much of her published work.
I found her name in a book. The book I have. Did she write it? Did she author it, or
she did?
Okay, all right, yeah. So I was like, yeah, I've read a book by her, but I felt that it might be easier if I actually found her. I don't know. I thought it was a nice coincidence to come to this planet. I thought maybe she'd be here. I don't know.
I don't know if she's on Pandora. She did some work with the Crimson Raiders for a while before she settled on, I don't know which planet it was, but I know like a lot of her more recent writing has come from wherever she's stationed now. Perhaps a quick scan of the EchoNet might be able to yield some positive benefits in that regard.
I never even thought about that. The thought actually didn't occur to me.
Light fun.
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, but fascinating. But of course, your secret is safe with me. I have no professional colleagues anymore, and am continuing my research solo, as it were. Which is why I took a particular interest in this cult. As you saw, the leader had used iridium to augment himself, like by physically implanting the substance in his body, which likely should kill most people, but it seems there may be a certain iridium sensitivity, which I was curious about. So I was trying to study these creatures, if you will, before I was discovered.
Yeah. Just kind of like what's going on internally in Fidget's head is she like almost subconsciously like pats the pocket where the chunk of iridium she has is, but like kind of stifles that urge. And is like, yeah, so like iridium, is it like really bad?
It certainly has the capacity to like many people have tried to use iridium to kind of augment themselves in various ways. But as we found out over the last decade or so, is that there's only a very select few people that are born with a natural sensitivity to the material, which allows them to then kind of harness the power. This is at the forefront of the Harpy technology, which is currently being used to kind of mimic the siren abilities, if you will. But it can only be used functionally in those people that are sensitive with iridium. For other people, it most likely, especially if it were to be implanted into them, as this person had done, without the ability to harness it, would just poison the system over time. Obviously, a byproduct of the refining of raw iridium is slag, which is extremely toxic.
Yeah. I think 3 of us got slagged, didn't we?
Yeah, you saw those sickly creatures. They were clearly in deep stages of slag sickness. I doubt they would have been able to survive more than another month or two at best. At that point, their blood has turned into almost a sludge.
That a month is probably a pretty good run for a psycho, especially if you're sort of souped up on iridium. You think, what do you think the life expectancy of a psycho is? Month?
Considering how many get nailed by the
Peaches?
technicals.
I forgot about peaches.
How?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, come on, I'm not saying it has to be that way. We'll just be careful.
He's like, the kiss of the wisp of the flame.
Guys, we can't let peaches die.
Yeah, that's not allowed. We can make some kind of bubble technology.
Put him in a giant hamster wheel.
Yes.
It's not completely unheard of for psycho, because would no, I don't know, because actually the book I got specifically about Sirentology, isn't it? I was like, would she have had anything in there about like Krieg? Oh, she studied Krieg, right?
She absolutely did. There's probably some other paper or book or essay or something out there involving that particular experiment. Tannis also developed technology that allows
the whole DLC was Tannis. That was Tannis's doing. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So she's actually developed this neural cranial link that is able to have other people enter the subconscious of other creatures. And she used that in an attempt to learn more about what triggers a psychosis, because it seems very unique and it almost spreads the psychosis that these creatures exhibit. It seems to spread like a virus almost, because it's jumped from planets.
Yeah, I like that they gave it lore. That's fucking amazing.
Oh, I love that DLC. Krieg's fantastic.
I've been replaying through it again. But yeah, Fidget's just like, well, if you don't mind leaving the cameras off while we eat, I would love to eat a meal not wearing my mask.
Oh my gosh, say no more. I got you.
Nice.
That's gonna be definitely the highlight of my evening.
Busting out some of the prepared rations provided by Huemi aboard the ship before you left. Easily able to cook it makeshift over the magma fire.
Nice.
Yeah, but Dr. Celsus she's like, well, if as I've mentioned, my services are at your disposal, I obviously owe you a debt. But also, just for me professionally, it would be amazing to be able to kind of study even a burgeoning siren such as yourself. Perhaps I may have insights to offer.
Well, if you can, I don't know, if you know anything that might help me get a handle on these. This was actually only the second time I've ever used my powers.
Truly? Well, I'm glad it worked. Otherwise, I would not be standing here with you. But that's absolutely incredible.
Well, I mean, it had a 50-50 chance of catching you in midair or burning you to death, but I'm glad it worked out. Glad it worked out in the way I wanted it to.
I very much am as well.
I mean, the alternative there really would have just sped things up by 12 seconds. So no.
Yeah,
no
it's why I went ahead and did it. Was I figured, well, I mean, if it didn't work, then I mean, same result.
Like a win-win, but like a win-tie.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately,
like a win neutral.
Those savages had the foresight to strip me of my means of defending myself before lashing me to that structure up there. And she kind of gestures lightly to a belt she's wearing that the central looks like it's powered by something. There's a little faint glowing red light around this utility belt she's kind of wearing. She
utility
goes,
belt.
Yep. Like, normally I have better means of defending myself, but they got the drop on me, as it were. I was currently...
Ash just needs a fun costume and go after bandits in the middle of the night. Have some bandit dangling. What are you? I'm Skagman.
Where are you?
Yes, but my passion is much more academic.
Well, so we're here really more on a bounty situation, but since we're in what looks like the iridium refinery, or what do we call it? A slagma extraction plant?
Yep.
I don't suppose that there is any iridium stores left hanging around here. We could talk a little value in this section of our endeavor.
There very well might be. The problem is that a lot of the lava tunnels flow into the deeper sections of this place, so it's the iridium is probably more buried underneath like rivers of lava, if you will. That's what causes the particular gases to mix and arise. Looking for just, iridium that can be mined, you probably would have better luck at the extraction plant where they were able to. It's far enough away from Mount Hellfount that the little underground lava channels seem to divert away from there.
I don't know. Only on Pandora can lava tunnels be a problem so frequently.
But she goes, I am curious about the gases, though. I may try to fancy look at that before we make haste.
Gases. I don't have gas. Are you looking at me, Tegan?
Creatures!
That's your guy. I guarantee you, whatever that smell is, it wasn't peaches.
But yeah, so brilliant. So you guys now have decisions to make. As you see, you can go back through the chat to look at them. There are several missions here on Pandora. One cryptic mission in the Iridium Blight here, but you're also on your quest for Vlad. So the two most prominent missions that keep you in the Blight are the Cracked Sash, which is that hunt for the Spawn of Rakkinishu, that giant monstrous rak that flies over the irradiated area of the Iridium Blight at the bottom of Mount Hellsfront, and obviously the search for Vlad.
It's like on one hand, Rakkinishu's like right there, but on the other hand, I'm fucking terrified.
Yes, also noting it probably is at least a good 3 hours by vehicle to make it all the way down here to the extraction plant. And currently, you guys are sitting at about 20 hours on Pandora so far.
Did we already determine what Vlad was crossing off at the red circles?
Those were mines that he had been exploring. Little caves and tunnels looking for more iridium. Like, over the... however long he'd been up to this, these were the places he had marked down and the various things he had seen, trying his best to stay clear of known Rak packs and Bullymong tribes and that kind of stuff.
I guess Hobbs votes Rakkinishu if we're that close and knows that it's like I think it's a kind of a serious journey there all the way around, so.
Indeed.
Let's take it down.
Alright, so that is 2 votes for the Cracked Sash mission.
He's voting hard for Hide and Squeak.
Gotcha. That does take you out of the Iridium Blight. You would have to go to the fridge, which is beyond the dust. It's a few days travel to make it to that particular area of the map.
And like Max the player knows that that's annoying, but Duck is still voting for it.
Okay. Alright. 1 vote for Hide and Squeak, 2 for Crack Sash.
I definitely want to tackle Hide and Squeak, but just while we're here, if we're gonna do,
Is Hide and Squeak the death race? What is that one?
Hide and Squeak, it's a rat colony that was expanding their tunnels below the earth, came across some strange happenings that in some of the inhabitants have now begun to exhibit like signs of almost like rabies, where they're becoming like extremely aggressive, feral. They're not eating, they're not sleeping, and one particular member of this colony, Ruzo the rat, has put out a request for aid in this, going into the tunnels and discovering what is the source of this and getting rid of it.
And it's not just because they're rats.
I like that the reward was 1,000 credits and random gun parts. I was like,
yeah, just a box of random gun parts. Yep.
Yeah. I was like, I like this. That sounds like we're gonna have to do some loot rolls, and I like doing that.
Yeah. Sounds like a very futuristic type of dystopian future reward too.
Yeah,
Great job.
yeah.
Have this scrap.
I was like, arguably money's better, but I don't care. It sounds like we're going to get to roll on tables, and I think that's awesome. Like that's the appeal to me.
Duck, you know this, that most rat colonies, especially on planets that are not particularly hospitable to your particular species, or mutation, I guess you could say. It's not really a species, but most rat colonies are very self-sufficient, communal type deals, like as little interaction with the outside world as can be in a lot of cases. Less so
it
on
must be bad if they're asking for help.
Yeah, that and also they're just not extremely like financially well off because they just kind of live on their own and make of it what they can.
Oh, gotcha.
So offering a bunch of gun parts for trade is probably like the equivalent of them paying like a very high bounty price, you know what I mean? Like it's like the best they can offer.
Plus, we can always sell them if we can't use them.
Exactly.
And from Fidget's perspective, it's like, well, the only rat I've ever met is ducks, so I think it's just going to be a whole bunch of ducks. And I'm like, that sounds amazing to me.
Oh no.
So Duck votes for Hide and Squeak, Kimmy and Hobbs for Crack Sash. Also, I will just mention that, like, Kimmy, like, Peaches, like, this entire time has basically been, like, playing with your tentacles. Like, a thing where you, like, move the tentacles over your face and then, like, peekaboo him and he's like, ah! Like,
oh my god, I love him so much.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so while we're looking at the bounties, Fidget's like, I think we should do Hide and Squeak too, but I guess while we're here, I guess maybe we could go after that rack. I was like, man, I don't know. It sounds scary, but I mean, I've never tried phase locking something big. I mean, I haven't tried phase locking something small either. Actually, I haven't tried phase locking a lot of things. But it might be, I don't know, it might be a good test, I guess. I was looking up to mechanically if I could, and I was like, if it's large size, yeah, if it's bigger than that, I won't be able to. But Fidget doesn't know that. This will be like fucking...
You know what I love? I love shooting at things that aren't moving. So, if you can,
yeah,
golden.
That's my thought. I'm like, if I can, it would definitely make it easier. But if it doesn't work, that's scary. But it sounds like, what is it? Does it say in the bounty that if Rakkinishu is like fire breathing or anything like that?
That's totally up in the air, right? It's like a mystery bounty.
it is very much, but I do believe it does, in the little rhyme, it says something about breathing bouts of flame.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, well,
So
my best long range option's ice, so. So I guess I got that going for me.
And if anyone wants to make a lore check, go for it about perhaps its predecessor, the original flavor, Rakkinishu.
I got a dirty 20.
Nice. So yeah, from poring over random Echolog podcasts from the past, you do know that indeed, Rakkinishu was a creature that seemed to roam around the arid Badlands in a time before the Hyperion invasion. And it was just an enormous fire-breathing rak. Many people thought for a time that it was a dragon.
That seems pretty correct.
So if the hunt for Rakkinishu is something you're on for, or the spawn of Rakkinishu, as it were, a couple options levy to you. On foot, you could make up this little ladder here that leads to the base of Mount Hell's front, or you can trek back to the vehicle and take one of those subsequent bridges directly into the radiation zone, if you will.
Yeah, I'd feel better if we had a vehicle.
Especially when we call it a radiation zone, I feel like I'd like to be able to leave in a hurry in the event that is not a misnomer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
It is an area that was heavily irradiated when the Vault of the Warrior was opened, and a lot of the vault radiation poured out. Generally not super dangerous short term, but over extended periods of time, especially generationally, it can have quite the impact on local flora and fauna.
Yeah. Gigantic,
Also,
fire breathing.
point of interest, we passed by here on our way here. Are those vending machine icons valid? Do we have places we can spend money?
Indeed, there does appear to be vending machines that are within the Slagma refinery that you passed. Unclear if those are functional.
Nice.
But the vending machines that you did pass in the car at the very beginning, where you stopped to check the bounty board, were functional.
Oh, yeah.
Although Tegan smashed one of the shield vending.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, because now at least I had like $3 in my pocket. Now I have like actual spending money.
Yeah, thanks to Duck, and then the cachet that you found within one of the little dormitory type deals. Yes.
Very exciting proposition for me, because I would love to spend some of that money on maybe like a new shield or something before we take on a big bad monster.
Very nice, very nice.
Back to the car.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's here, right? Didn't we bring it right to this place?
It's close.
We had to go on foot.
So yeah, we really do have to go right past the refinery again.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm on board for that plan.
Cool. Before that, while you guys are forming your plan, Dr. Celsus does trail off to go inspect the inner workings of the Slagma extraction plant here.
Don't die.
Careful.
I will
Need something nice.
but a half hour, 45 minutes later, she returns. And just be like, well, exceptionally dangerous levels of toxic chemicals. Deeper into that, but it does seem that most of the machinery is still functional.
Ooh.
Which leads me to believe that perhaps the Slagma refinery is in similar state. But cool, you guys.
So,
Yep.
Is this related to her research, or Hobbs is going to ask her if that's related to her? She was doing at this location.
I was primarily here to try to study these the children of the Firehawk, as they were, especially their leader, because I was curious about how he was augmenting himself with the iridium. So no, I was just curious. I like to mark off what Hyperion installations are still in a functional state, if need be, for anything that I might require in the future. So that was me checking on that. But what brought me here was the tales I had heard of the children of the Firehawk in general, so I ventured out this way to explore a little bit. I like to keep eyes on creatures that have been mutated in some various ways, due in part to iridium. Every little bit of notes and research.
Well, we were just talking about killing a giant rak. You tag along?
I mean, as I've mentioned, I am at your disposal.
No, this is really more me offering a favor to you. So, I mean, don't feel overwhelmed by all of the things that you'll owe us after this, but you're welcome to come along.
Yes, I see. I see how this arrangement's going to work. Yes, very good. I can see what I can do to assist in such manners now that I've had a chance to sufficiently recharge my my various tech apparati. But I will certainly accompany you, and the chance to explore some other creature that maybe not from iridium, but from vault radiation may still yet yield some fruitful research notes.
What do you say, Peaches? You want to go take down a sky lizard?
Peaches! I abide by your voice, mistress!
Oh, jeez.
There's something ironic about the fact that there's an actual siren now in this group, and he's still worshiping the social media presence.
Yep. And when you originally phase locked, I made a wisdom check, and yeah, he rolled like a 6, so he still fully thinks that it's Kimmy.
It's priceless.
Love it.
Oh, and Duck, you chimed in. Are you on board with this rack hunt before we move on to other grander deals?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Just wanted to get a unanimous chime.
Would just like to check in on the rats at some point, though.
Absolutely. 100%.
Here for that. Dope. So you guys make your way back over, maneuvering the way you came, and making your way through these kind of rockier ridges before finding the entrance to the refinery, which again is a large building, looks mostly abandoned, many smashed windows, and as mentioned previously, probably a large chance that some other bandit colony was stationed up in there before the cult of the Firehawk moved in, at which point one could assume that only one was to survive such close proximity. But making your way into the building itself, the giant double doors to this are indeed open, and when you open them up, it's dark, it's dusty, it's cobwebs and just completely derelict, abandoned for what seems like a while now. But you step in and you do see the vending machines present, as well as these large machines that are dedicated to you would place a sample of the gas you collected or the vapor you collected, and then it would be able to measure those. So it's a lot of very, very expensive looking analysis equipment that is just caked in a layer of dust.
And does it seem functional, or?
At first glance, nothing appears to be running, and there doesn't seem to be power to this building, which is more evident as you approach the vending machines, which look to be in functional order, but there's no power being supplied. But if somebody wants to explore this area a little further, you may attempt to roll investigation checks that might yield some benefit in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Ari, your headphones are lighting your shoulders with multiple colors, and it's kind of interesting to look at.
Thank you.
Investigation.
I got an 11.
Yeah, I mean, look around. I got a 13.
Ooh. Natty Twanzoni.
Oh, okay.
For a 24.
Very nice. Well, on a nat 20, I would say you are able to find the breakers. And we'll say even on a nat 20, you're able to replace some of the burnt out fuses, and then throw the switch and lights start coming in. Machines light up, the vending machines light up, overhead ceiling lights in this place is immaculately lit.
Just have that little moment where I'm putting a makeshift fuse in. Please work, please work, please work. Yay! It starts turning on.
And then Samuel Jackson's arm falls down onto your shoulder.
Oh, Mr. Arnold.
Dun!
Hold on to your butts.
Clever girl.
Didn't say the magic word.
We try to use the vending machine, and that's what comes up. Damn it!
You do also see the remnants of what looks to be somebody, or a group of somebody's had indeed stayed here. You see a lot of typical bandit signs of just garbage on the floor and, like, you know, old ratty couches that have been pulled in from God knows where, bandit graffiti along the walls, that kind of, you know, like a group of motley teenagers have been living here for squatting here.
Oh, God, it smells like old urine pissed its pants. No.
What a phrase.
Is it Borderlands 2 that had the jump on? It was like a hidden achievement.
Oh,
F your
yeah,
couch.
fuck your couch. Yeah.
One jump on the couch.
Should have prepared my it's piss grenade.
Yes, the it's
I
piss.
wish I brought my cleaning bot from home with me.
Check out these vending
I think it might
machines.
quit on you
What do
if
we
you
got?
set it loose in here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It'll rebel.
So there is a like an old Zed's Bed vending machine type deal that sells shields as well as possibly some health now vials, and there is an ammo vending machine as well, like one of them old Marcus munitions.
I am excited. Those are the two things I was looking for the most.
I am excited.
I am excited. I was like, I hope there's a shield machine, and if not, then an ammo machine, vending machine, and there we go. Yay!
Very nice.
Woo!
So Fidget immediately racing up to the shield vending machine. We'll have you make the luck check. Go ahead and roll a d20.
Ow! Ooh, alright. Stabbing myself with my pencil again.
Oh no.
12.
Well, fair enough. It looks to be a lot of common shields, but with a 12, there is one, the deal of the day that it's been stuck on forever. One uncommon ancient shield. So that's that's 3d4 plus 3.
Nice.
Or sorry, 3d4 plus 6.
Oh, sure.
Unless anyone has any objections, I want to immediately buy that.
Go.
Like the deal of the day timer is probably fucking broken.
So
And I'm just like tick, 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 just hammering on the button.
right,
Gimme.
it's set at like 4 days.
Deal of February 4 years ago, man. Nice.
But being the deal of the day, if you were, so this uncommon shield is marked at 750.
Oh, I don't have that much. What if I shove my old shield into it? How much do I get?
Roundabout, I'll give you a little bump. We'll call it 175. Slightly over asking price for these outdated machines.
Awesome. it's like the little, because you know how like the deal of the day has the little timer that ticks down.
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, I'm thinking it's so fucking over past due. It like ticks to 0 and goes back to 1 and ticks to 0, and I'm like,
Yeah.
gimme. I'm like, take my shield off, shove it in. I'm like, sell, gimme. pop the deal of the day shield out, and I'm like, oh, thank God.
All right. So with that, yeah, you were able to pop out an uncommon light ancient shield.
Here.
3d4 plus 6.
Oh, I wish I could take my camera down and point it. 4, 4, 3.
Nice. Almost
Fucking
max.
Unlike the one I started with, where I rolled like a 2 and a 2, I think.
And as you know, uncommon shields they can have one shield accessory installed within them,
Which I have in my inventory.
It would take about I think it's roughly an hour with either mechanics or tinkering tools, and you can properly install that and get it booted up.
Oh yeah. Well, everybody's doing whatever else they do. I just immediately go to Tinkertown on that bad boy.
Walk up to a table and
I'm doing the hour of tinkling.
All right, anybody else? So it looks like he, or she, as it were, is the only one now to be able to, like, that was the only uncommon shield, and that was the shield. So the rest are common shields. But if anybody else wants to purchase a common shield or ammunition, you are certainly welcome to.
You said there was a health now hypo?
Yes, indeed, there are. Go ahead and I'll give you the same thing. Go ahead and give me a quick luck check.
Just a d20, right?
Yes.
7.
Okay, so there are basic health now vials.
So they're red.
The
Okay.
red health now vials, yes. And they are 105 each.
Okay. I will grab... Where's my money? There it is. I'll grab 3 of them.
Peaches a shield?
Sure.
Alright, I'd like to do that.
Also, Dr. Celsus is going to grab 2 health now vials to replace the stores that she took as well. Cool. But yeah, a shield.
I'll grab him like a heavy shield.
Alright, a Hyperion shield, 350. And
Can do.
Hobbs will contribute 100 towards that endeavor.
Oh,
Awesome.
thank you.
You're not
I feel like
fully
this
out of
officially
pocket,
makes
where
him
this
part
guy
of the...
just wants to die.
So this officially makes him part of the party now.
Sets of tires that will probably outlast this guy and the shield. But
I feel like you have to chase him around a little bit. Like at first, he like runs away as you try to like put it on him, and he's just like, "Ah, I want to beat it." He's like, "Ah, get the Sparky box away from me." But
It's not gonna hurt you, I promise.
Ari, go ahead and roll 2d8 plus 8.
tell him if he won't hold still, then Tegan will put him on him.
Tegan just like cracks her knuckles.
I love him so much.
So his shield points are 19.
All right, that is a really good roll.
Seriously.
19 shield points as it, and you see he like
I have a common Hyperion. I got 11.
he has his like baton that's not currently on fire, and he just like holds out his arm and like as the shield, and he's like until eventually he breaks his shield and then wails his arm. He's like like
Don't do that. Don't do that.
What is the base roll for a Hyperion warp shield?
1d8 plus 4. So a common shield, it would be 2d8 plus 8.
Okay. I gave myself 1d8 plus 4 as the actual shield score, so that's what I've been going with this whole time.
Oh no, so no Hyperion shield, common use. All common shields have a base of 2 shield dice.
See.
And it goes up from there. So,
I'm going to go ahead and re-roll that.
yeah, go for it. The base is one.
But even with that, the higher base is, I mean, the higher bonus is still higher.
Yeah, you've been operating with a half full shield this entire time. Say like your shield's just malfunctioning from like a previous battle, and like Fidget is able to like tinker it a little bit and get it. It's like, oh yeah, you just had like your max capacitor blew. I was able to like kind of just re-tinker it, and then all of a sudden,
I look at Fidget and I'm like, wow, I could hug you. I mysteriously just thought my left ass cheek has been itching like crazy for about a month straight. There it goes. All right.
Oh, I mean, you should totally get that looked at, but
I'll consider it, but I mean, it's like,
yeah.
Maybe you have like a cyst or something.
guys, I don't want to put any more thought into it than that. I'm cured. My shield looks great. I'll move on.
Also, you see that Dr. Celsus is off exploring the various machinery. Just as a note, that's what she's been up to this entire time, is entering in some commands and seeing how functional the machine is. Various machines, I should say. But yeah, so Peaches has a shield. Fidget's got a new shield. Anybody else? We got health now hypos for Duck and Celsus. Is there anything else?
I'll grab some health now vials if that's okay. I've learned my lesson.
Yeah, they are 150 a piece, and so far 5 have been bought. I'll say there's another 5 left in the inventory stock.
I'll grab
They're
2.
they're 105.
105.
Right?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
No, you're right. My bad. And Celsus rejoins you after kind of completing some of her little research logs, again in her Echo device, just making notes about the various equipment that is still functional here. And she's like, yeah, well, this place is still quite operational, which is fantastic, I suppose, if you're looking to refine those vapors. But as it were, it doesn't hold much for me in my research here.
We'll just take note of it.
Alright. So, lest there be anything else we are looking for in this general area, you guys continue your trek along the rocky ridges, making it safely to your car. Which, thankfully, I rolled earlier to see if it was going to be still there. or yeah. And thankfully, yes. Still there. Doesn't seem to have been disturbed by much.
Nice.
And picking up, I'm guessing Hobbs behind the wheel. So how do you guys want to get on this Spawn of Rakkinishu's lair here? So,
If we're trying to drive as close to the site as possible without getting fucked with by the terrain, I feel like the middle bridge is the easiest.
I would say you are reading that correctly. Taking the upper right or the left routes would involve abandoning the car at some point. But the middle one, it seems like you could drive the car directly, more or less, into where this area of vault radiation has been kept.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
That
that's
would be
a-
the takeaway that I...
All right. So, traveling back, riding these roads for like a good half hour-ish, 20 minutes. You pull on to the bridge, which overlooks a large, just like a chasm that, the Iridium Blight is famous for these, just like big, dips into the ground. Looking down it as you begin to drive past, you do see the telltale signs of bullymong dens that tend to reside in these types of fissures, if you will. But not drawing any attention from them, you begin to make it into the area of vault radiation. Immediately, you don't feel anything based on it, and there is like an old abandoned bandit camp that you guys end up kind of driving past unless you want to stop. It doesn't appear to be active at the moment, as it looks pretty derelict, as if a battle once did occur in this area, which is most likely given the state of Pandora. But as you move beyond that and start getting more into the upper ranges of this area, up in through here, you start to see a bit of topography change. This starts to look like it is the only area that you've seen of the Iridium Blight thus far to have any kind of vegetation. And the vegetation is very strange, unlike anything you've seen either on Promethea or in the Sawtooth Cauldron. These are you start to see these red vines that kind of cling to surfaces. These strange, almost fly trap, giant plants, strange glowing plants that seem to pop. They pop out of crevices in between rocks, and they have these large bulbs on them that emanate this light in these little you start seeing all around you these little almost glowing little orbs that kind of drift along, and reaching out to touch it, it's almost like a particular pollen, but luminescent. again, if anyone wants to roll a lore check, you certainly can.
I don't even think that would make sense for me at the moment.
Natural 20.
Hey!
I was just rolling for fun because my lore is
Hey.
not good.
I rolled because I, the player, know what these things are. I was like, let's see if I got a 17.
Nice.
I got a dirty 20.
All right. Well, I'd say all three of you, but especially you, Duck, recognize these from some previous studies that you've done. These appear to be very similar to elements that you would find on perhaps the Iridium homeworld, Necrotafeo. These seem to be these plants have been augmented by the vault radiation and appear to be showing telltale signs of plant life similar to an Iridium homeworld. As if the vault radiation
fire melons?
You still see fire melons. Yes, indeed.
Oh, okay. Oh, those weren't the fire melons.
No. The fire melons...
Oh, I thought they were.
No, the fire melons are like these red, almost like pineapple-y, like they have like barbs and spines coming off them. But these are like, if you remember going to Necrotafeo and like those glowing pods that just kind of hung there and gave off like the little like light sparks and stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
As if over the past 2 decades, or not 2, but probably closer to 14 years since the vault has been open. The Vault of the Warrior was opened. It looks like it's slowly terraforming.
Yeah,
the vault radiation has that kind of intent.
I remember the first time I found those red vines, I was like, how the fuck do you get through these? And then felt like an idiot when I realized it was actually very simple.
Yeah.
I was like shooting them with fire weapons and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, you just hit them with your melee weapon. All right, yeah, that makes sense.
It took me a while to figure out that there are certain areas where the game wants to direct you to proceed before you can actually proceed. So I spent a very long time shooting and bombing a vent recently to try and get to the guy in a bubble bath before just approaching a door for 4 seconds and having him say, "Go find the vent."
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah.
I should have known that 6 grenades ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you start to see this topography change, and it does the ground, you start driving over some of these red vines and but it isn't long after you enter that place that you do hear from somewhere up high and off in the distance, just like the just cry of what you can only imagine is this beast, if you will.
And skirt.
Yeah. So it's up to you how you guys want to go about. If you want to try to set a trap, if you want to just outright attack, if you want to try to draw its attention by setting off something akin to a smoke signal or something.
Can someone just find flares?
Yeah, I do have a flare gun. I also have a flare ordnance, if anyone else wants a flare gun.
That sounds even bigger.
But I'll give you guys a chance to kind of plan and prep here as you're driving more steadily into what is eventually slowly turning into kind of like a sparse wooded, it almost starts to become more of a jungle terrain. There are no high canopies or trees really to speak of, but you start seeing more and more encroaching vegetation as you make your ways to the edges of where this map is.
I'm gonna activate Stalwart Last Stand. Give myself a little more AC.
Actually, I'm gonna do Dr. Zed's bullet salve again. I feel like this is also not gonna go well.
I'm gonna pop. Right, that's a. Yep, I don't need concentration for that. I'm gonna pop a dose of Dr. Zed's horse pills.
Nice.
Oh, you have those too? Nice.
Yeah.
Do I?
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah, that's
Go
good.
on, I
I was
guess.
like, I was contemplating crafting up a bunch of doses, and I'm like, yeah, but that molecular shield utility in case I need it.
Yep.
But everyone also has a fresh 2 bullet salves.
Alright, add 2 of Dr. Zed's bullet salves to your inventories.
Because they don't stack, they go away eventually.
Yeah.
Worth saving them. Use away.
Use them when you need them, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Cool. Alright. So,
I don't think I have any other prep stuff.
the way I see it, we can do some like survival checks to like track this beast if you want to try to get in close to it, or you could try to draw it to you. Which would be fairly easy. It would simply require, like I said, a smoke signal, some pyrotechnic display, really anything that would be visually in the sky to draw attention.
We're in a relatively open terrain here.
Yeah, so there's, like I said, nothing really above you canopy-wise, but there is large vegetation around you. So there are places you could like hide in, but like full aerial visibility is pretty spot on.
I was gonna say we could alternatively, instead of tracking it to its lair, we could try to use survival to find a good ambush spot.
That's true. I also wanted to just do a quick survival just to see if it's been around here recently.
Alright, go ahead and roll that.
Sounds like a plan.
Or if it frequents this area or something. Nope.
Yeah, that's a no for me too.
That's a natural 2 for a 6.
As you guys are looking, what's that, Anthony? Sorry.
I got a 18 as a first survival roll for Hobbs.
Nice. I was gonna say, as you guys are really thinking and looking around you, you again hear like the cries in the sky. Hobbs, yeah, you have a feeling like this area of like vegetation that seems to have sprouted just because of the vault radiation in this area. It's unclear where this thing may like rest as far as a layer goes, but it feels like this whole thing is kind of its territory. And as you saw when you were originally driving by, it tends to just kind of fly around the area.
I think it sticks to the trees.
But as you begin to move in a little bit, if any of you want to try again, do another survival check to try to find like a good spot for like in kind of ambushy type area, you certainly could.
Yeah.
Oh, that one was a 6. I can hide behind like this boulder. It's a really nice boulder.
I have like a whopping +0. So I was like, Fidget might not even know the difference between a bush and a boulder. I got a 10.
I got an 8. I'm not bad at survival either.
The more you guys begin to move into this, the more kind of densely packed these creeping vines and plant life seem to become. So as far as trying to find like an open area, it gets rough the more you go in. Which could be beneficial to you, or could not be. If you're looking for like an area where this thing might like descend a little bit into like a clearing, maybe back where you were, where you guys were originally prepping might be game. But if you're looking for a lot of things that you could potentially hide behind and obscure yourself from, the further in is a better bet. It's just the creature will be pretty much strafing.
Hobbs will just think aloud that we've at least caught wind that this thing likes to breathe fire, so I think I'd rather not be like surrounded by foliage or vines or
That's a good point, actually.
through.
My one weakness, common sense.
Yeah.
I will say you do.
Second weakness, and I think it's fire.
I will say you do see like certain scorch patches as like you make your way further in and stuff as well. So yeah.
I want to be in the thicket.
Well, I mean, we could just put a nice little pyrotechnic display in an open area and just kind of spread out and hope for the best.
That's what you guys want to do.
I mean, just like the nearest, the kind of best open area, so that we can, more than one of us can get a shot on this thing at any given time.
Yeah,
that could work.
Cool. Eventually, like, you guys decide to kind of turn back around, start moving back, like, out of, like, the denser foliage that you find, and eventually, yeah, you do find, like, an area, like, with a decent-sized clearing that around the perimeter still has, like, this kind of vegetation, but it does seem to be at least an area of, the closest thing you can find, anyway, to, like, a natural clearing. There are a couple boulders sticking out of the ground, as well as some of these big flytrap type plants and the weird glowing orb plants. Fire melons don't seem to be in this particular area, which is probably beneficial for you.
Yeah.
But awesome. And again, and as you guys begin, like, find this clearing and begin kind of looking it over, a shadow over the land, as high up above you, has not noticed you, but yeah, Rakkinishu, the spawn of Rakkinishu, above you for just a moment before it kind of off.
Fire a flare straight at it.
Yeah.
Get its attention.
All right, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we get its attention right now, that might save us some time of, like, you know, of just firing flares or whatever we're gonna do and then just waiting.
I mean, yeah, I'll use the actual flare gun for this.
I'm gonna activate my cloaking device.
All right, one charge expended as this thing flies overhead. You are you aiming for it, or are you just firing into the air?
Yeah, I'll aim for it. Why not?
All right, let me pull that up real quick here.
Yeah, what if I blind it? That'd be great.
Gently bring your attention.
Right, let's get its attention. We'll
Classic
fire
maritime knowledge, not to drop old seafarer knowledge.
All right,
so you, like, fire a little bit in front of it to make sure it sees it, and it just hits it in the eye.
Why do I almost feel like there's some like a pop culture where that sort of thing happens? They, like, fire a flare to get help, and they, like, shoot down the rescue helicopter or something ridiculous. What am I thinking of?
Does sound.
All right, Duck, roll me an attack roll. This is just going to be plus your dex modifier.
Okay. That's a dirty 20.
Nice. Yeah, as it's going by, unfortunately, you don't manage to blind it, but you do, like, kind of catch it, like, in, like, one of its wings as it's just, like, lazily gliding through the sky, and it you see part of its, like, wing catches, like, on fire a little bit from the effects of this. Go ahead and roll 1d4 damage.
Okay.
Awesome.
4.
4 points of fire damage to this bad boy. As
Only resistant to fire, but oh well.
As it roars, whip up a map.
Nice.
So it is very dark in this area here. So I apologize if the map is a little overly monotonous and dark, but the natural iridian blight landscape of these dark grays and purples meshes in with all of these various brightly colored and illuminated flora. So yeah, you can kind of see lots of vegetation still kicking around, some 10-foot high boulders stuck in the area, these glowing pods and ornate kind of vegetation that can be used to kind of hide behind and stuff. And as the Spawn of Rakkinishu begins to turn itself back around and reorientate itself. You guys are here on the map, but that's just me placing you, so anybody wants to move their token, or if you need me to move your token, feel free. Put yourself wherever you think you would begin this before Duck initiated his blast.
Oh boy.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah.
It is really pretty.
You like it?
Yeah.
I feel
So
like
this area here is like a little mini chasm.
nope. So that is just this patch of regular dirt and earth that has been covered by these vines. You don't know for certain until you jump in it. Moving through that amount of vines might make a little troublesome.
Oh, is this a rock that's 10 feet up?
Yes. Yeah, those are boulders that jut from the ground 10
okay.
feet. Sorry, yes.
I was misreading that. I thought it was 10 feet down to a little. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
Gotcha. Yes.
Just hang around this rock.
So this is what I meant when you see these strange glowing bulbous flower type things that give off these little glowing spores. These strange red vines that seem to creep along. Large plants. None of the big fly traps in this area, which again might work to your benefit, because those things look like they can probably try to eat a person.
Probably should have remembered that description before I, decided to stroll straight between these two giant bulbous plants along the wall. But
I think Celsus is going to jump up behind this rock, and Tegan is just going to move out into the open.
I think we're gonna go for here, if possible.
Yep.
Eh.
This thing, let's see. It's gonna make a perception check to see what the fuck just happened. Tegan is out in the open, because Tegan don't think too much. It is gonna spot Tegan, though it doesn't. You guys think you're underneath some of this random foliage and stuff. You guys might be more or less hidden from this. But you guys struck it, so let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Woo!
I got a nat 20 for initiative. We are so screwed.
Damn.
okay.
All right. Awesome. So, Kimmy, as this the Spawn of Rakkinishu begins to turn, it is about 60 feet high in the air as it makes its way just into view of this map where he is.
I'm gonna hold until he dives for Tegan.
Okay.
If possible.
Yeah, totally. So you're holding. What do you want to hold for an action?
Well, I want to be able to run up to use the confetti cannon because that only has a area of effect of 15 feet.
Okay. So you hold until this creature hopefully comes within 15 feet of you. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, cool. After that is Duck.
I'm gonna use irradiated light speed at 2nd level.
Awesome.
Why did I use that dice?
Oh, no.
Natural 1.
Oh. Unfortunately, yeah, as it streaks up, he just kind of dives down a little bit and just kind of shoots over, unfortunately. Bummer. Alright, but that is your turn. Are you moving or staying put?
I'll stay there. What a waste of a 2nd level.
Alright, Duck, that's you. Fidget.
I'm going to hold. I'm gonna ready my ice spiker to nail it if it comes within range.
Alright, holding action. And then it is Rakkinishu. Or the Spawn of Rakkinishu, I should say. And Rakkinishu is... since he doesn't see any of you, and it looks like there's just a sole target to him standing out in the open with that perception check he made, I suppose the logical thing would be for him to just go straight down. No sense in trying to keep its distance away. I can't fathom a reason for that. Let's see what your speed is. High. Which is easily done. So yeah, Spawn of Rakkinishu is gonna dive straight down into Tegan's shit. I believe that puts him in range of at least Kimmy, I think.
Yep.
Alright, go ahead and take your shot.
Alright, so for the confetti launcher, you blast a dazzling, colorful display of confetti into the air at a 15-foot cone. Creatures within the area of effect must make a Constitution save against your tech save DC or be blinded until the end of your next turn.
Ooh.
Yay!
Okay.
Party to can.
Yeah! Like color spray, I love that spell.
That's an 11.
That does not beat my tech save DC of 14.
Alright, so you strike this can on your shoulder and like a confetti popper, just like sprays all this glitter and color into the air and all over Rakkinishu's face. And I believe on a 15-foot cone, yeah, you can just manage to miss Tegan with that. But yeah, blinded for sure. Suffer as he just kind of like beats his wings a little bit. Awesome. Is he within range of you, Fidget?
Yeah.
All right.
It's funny because I was holding to use Ice Spiker because while I have my cloaking device, I'd get advantage, but now it's blind and I do anyway.
There we go.
Pretty funny.
That's right. Blinded creatures, yeah, they suffer disadvantage on their attacks, and you have advantage on your attacks against them.
So I got a dirty 20. Oh no, yeah, dirty 20.
Nice. That'll hit for sure.
All right, so that is 1 point of cryo damage, unless it has a weakness to it.
Cryo. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it deals any additional damage, but it doesn't look like it likes it either, as it.
But still, it's 1 point of cryo damage, and until I think it's the start of my next turn, its speed is reduced by 10.
All right. As frost begins to form around right where it has almost like a bat wing with the membrane. I can't think of what it's called. Pelagium, something like that. Dope. Then it is Rakkinishu's turn, who's going to thrash violently around. Is going to try to whip out with its piercing tail at Tegan with disadvantage. Oh, natural 2. Not gonna work, as it just strikes out and tears a chunk along the ground before it starts trying to pick itself back up. And it is going to, let's see how much movement it used to get in front of Tegan. Was here, made it to 70. So yeah, it's really not going to be able to get back up off the ground as well. So it's now about, with the additional movement, probably 15 feet in the air now. He's going to try to make one more tail attack as he picks up.
Oops.
Nope, not going to do it. Natural 20 and a 4.
Yay! Yeah!
I forgot to give him advantage on that perception check he should have made, but alright. Such is life. Awesome. Then it is Peaches. And let's see, this thing's 15 feet off the ground, which is just high enough for Peaches to charge right up into its shit underneath it. And it takes out his flaming bat and just breathes fire all the way up its shit. Rakkinishu does make his dexterity saving throw, so he's gonna take half for only 3 points of fire damage, which you do see doesn't take to him very well, as the fire just kind of laps away at him, but doesn't seem to actually catch fire at all. So he's gonna take an additional. Cool. That's Rakkinishu's turn. That's Peaches. He's gonna stay there. Tegan the thing's pretty far away now, so I think Tegan's gonna whip out her shotgun. And hit with it. Very nice, very nice, very nice. For 7 points of piercing damage to it as Tegan just blasts away. Awesome. And then after that is Dr. Celsus, who's going to sneak up around the edge here and using her wrist-mounted launcher is going to try to stick it with a grenade and miss as it over by it and it lands. I'm going to make a little dot here. But Kimmy, it is your turn as you see Dr. Celsus. Her mine lands right there and begins beeping on the ground.
Alright, I think I'm gonna pull out my Thunderbird cannon and fire it on the Spawn of Rakkinishu. The Thunderbird needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Rakkinishu wisdom's not one of its better saves. That's a 15 though.
Ah, bummer.
Beats it.
Yeah.
Does that deal half damage or is it? I think Thunderbird's lower.
It is half damage.
Nice, so go ahead and roll that then.
I can still hurt him.
You still can.
So he takes 5 points of cognitive damage.
5 points of cognitive damage. Very nice. Boom. Duck, that is you again.
Okay. It's still blinded.
Still blinded. Wait, no. Until.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be blinded.
Yeah, until Kimmy's next turn. So unfortunately, the blindness does wear off as it glitters raining down from it as it like shakes itself off.
Oh, is it possible that I got missed in initiative?
Oh, you did. I don't even have you written down. Sorry, you got a.
Thought Kimmy was holding her first action, which is why that was like a second turn.
Yes, I do apologize. What was your initiative roll again? Sorry, I didn't even write it down.
15. No worries.
15. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Jeez. Where's my head at? Yes. Sorry, Duck. If you don't mind, real quick, Hobbs is going to go ahead and take his turn, and then it'll be your turn again after Rakkinishu goes. But yes, Hobbs, go for it.
Sorry. Not to interject, but I'll just get my bullets in here. So, ironically, I was going to try and make it blind, but seeing as it's freaking out and missing Tegan like crazy, I think I'm just going to shoot it.
All right. You do still have advantage on it because your turn should have come before the blindness wore off.
Okay. Oh, I might not need it. It just got 2 19s. I critical on a 19 with Jolene, so that will be 64.
Wow, nice.
Dang.
Jacobs.
It takes more than one shot, and you weren't using a Jacobs.
That is 18 piercing damage.
Ooh.
Nice.
Wow, yeah, good hit as you this thing. Unfortunately, nowhere for the bullet to ricochet, but
no ricochet, yeah.
But it does like tear off.
It makes a really fucking cool sound.
Yeah. Dope. I did want to mention to you, Hobbs, that you can correct this if you want. The 10 rounds of each ammunition that you got, it does take an action to reload those as if you were like special ammunition, like loading those into your magazine.
Okay.
But you can have them preloaded if you desire.
So if I say have 9 rounds in my Atlas, I could have the last 3 rounds be borers or spin or.
Yep. Or you could completely change the magazine to just have like however.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah. So either way, you just keep track of it the best way you can, and know that if you're looking to like all of a sudden like I'd like to use like a bore shot on this, like you would have to have either use an action to load it or yeah. Dope.
That is good. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
I've learned like 3 different mechanical nuances tonight that I was missing out on.
Well, hey, that's awesome. So that's Hobbs. Are you moving or are you staying put?
I'm gonna stay put.
All right. So that is now Duck. He is no longer blinded. It is your turn.
I'm going to use experimental tech. The doctor is in. I'm As an action, you choose a creature within 30 feet. The next time you or an ally hits the creature, they suffer vulnerability to all of that attack's damage. Then the infection ends.
Ooh, very nice. So I believe that's a save, you said?
No, it just happens.
Very nice. Yeah, as once again you pull out that same box you used to cause the visions of Valhalla, and you kind of just reconfigure it a little bit, almost like the Lamentation Cube, as I mentioned before, from Hellraiser, and then hit the button and it sends out a beam that just nails this thing. Awesome. Dope. Are you moving or staying put?
I'll stay there for now so that we're still pretty spread out.
Awesome. That is Fidget.
I will fire off. Oops. Fire off a synaptic snap utility.
Nice. Boom.
Which I think that's an int save. I think. Yep, int save.
All right. Again, not one of its strongest suits.
I figured.
10.
10
Will
is
not do it.
not enough. Right, so a d6 and it gets vulnerability to this. 4. Oh, unfortunately, because the vulnerability only lasts one turn, right? So I got a 4 on the vulnerability dice because it's not going to do anything because the vulnerability wears off right after this, right?
The next, I believe the thing of the next attack, it gets vulnerability to. So yeah, and then it also suffers a 1d4 penalty to its next saving throw.
Yep. So it takes 6 total cognitive damage. And the next saving throw, but this thing, it's huge. It's not large, is it?
Looking at this thing as it is now straight up in your grill, it is size huge, yes.
Okay. I mean, Fidget she doesn't know whether or not she can phase lock this thing. She attempts to with a bonus action, and it would just automatically fail because I can't phase lock a huge creature.
Alright, awesome. Are you moving or staying put?
Yeah, I'll stay put for now.
Alright. At the end of your turn, before its next turn goes, now that it is no longer blinded and furious, it's gonna use one of its legendary actions. It's going to beat... actually, no, can't do that yet. It is instead going to make a perception check with advantage. And it's going to pick out you, Kimmy, and you... It's going to pick out Kimmy, Fidget, and Hobbs, seeing you guys tucked away over there. Since you guys have all done significant damage to it, or impaired it in one way or another. And then it
has vulnerability to that too.
Yeah, I did. That's why I was
I was
lamenting that I got the max result on the vulnerability die, which normally would increase its vulnerability, but then the vulnerability ends after the attack. So
yeah,
I was like, dang it.
Gotcha. All right. Then it is the Spawn of Rakkinishu's turn, who begins to beat its wings, takes up it was 15 feet in the air. It's going to move to about, it's going to get back up to about 30 feet high in the air, and it is going to move in a circling kind of pattern around this way, setting up a strife, and it's going to spew a diagonal line of fire as it flies overhead of Tegan, Peaches, and Kimmy. It's going to use the last of its movement to kind of get over here above this tree, but it's just going to lay down fire as it roars. I need Peaches, Kimmy, and Tegan to make dexterity saving throws. Tegan fails.
Kimmy got a 5.
So Peaches fails and Tegan fails. Peaches and Kimmy or not Kimmy, but Peaches and Tegan are each going to take 20 points of fire damage. Which levies them. Thankfully, Peaches is resistant to it, but doesn't roll well on that. But Peaches is down, or not down, but double check that. But Tegan is pretty hurt. Shield breaks, and Kimmy, you're gonna take 10 points of fire damage.
Okay. Peaches also has a shield now, too.
Oh, that's right. Peaches does have a shield. And that was 19, so minus that. Yes, the shield is. It was what 20, 19 minus. Yeah, it's still up with 1 point left.
Woo!
Awesome. Peaches, mark that down. 1 shield point left. Awesome, and that is the end of Rakkinishu's turn as it exhales its blast of fire breath, and then it's Hobbs. As this thing being amongst this large plant is a little obscured line of sight from you. Unless you move, it would probably have half cover.
I think I have to move a long way to not have half cover, what it looks like to me.
I would say, just based on this map, if you were to step out to probably at least 20 feet-ish, right in that kind of area, you would no longer have that half cover.
So, okay, well that's what I'm gonna basically move, shoot, and move.
All right.
So I am going to step out to about Nya and fire the old Marshall. So that's a 15 plus. So that's a dirty 20.
That hits.
4, 9, 13 piercing damage.
Nice. Nice. Dealing some heavy damage to this thing as it like shrieks and Dope.
Mark down bullets. And so then I'm going to finish my turn by moving the rest of my 30 over to like the edge of this rock. And that's it for me.
Okay. Dope. Taking place behind that, yeah, you are obscured, at least from a direct attack. And then it is Peaches! Let's see. Peaches, it's 30 feet high in the air. Peaches doesn't have much to do about that. So I guess he's just going to hold his action in case this thing comes back down at him. Tegan is going to step up and hold an action to attack it with its shotgun if it comes within range of it, but she's going to step up this way and just scream at this thing. Just like, you big fucker, get out here! That's them. These guys don't have a lot of far away ranged attacks here. And then Celsus, I think this thing can still... Yep, still within range. Gonna fire another mine. Ooh, and it's gonna hit with a natural 19. Which means this thing is going to take 2d8 corrosive damage. While I roll that out, we're back up to Kimmy.
Oh, so Kimmy is gonna move over here and fire off the Thunderbird again.
All right. Ooh, natural 1.
Nice.
What?
So that's 20 points of damage.
Wow, 20 points of damage. This thing. What type of damage is that? Cognitive, I believe?
Yes, cognitive.
Nice. And on a nat 1, I say that's going to drop him like half his height as he just like a rock temporarily plummets out of the sky down 15 feet. Awesome. Anything else from you, Kimmy?
Kimmy's gonna move back over here, and then, oh goodness, can I see any of you guys?
You can see Celsus, you could probably see Duck way across there. Tegan's more or less to your side in Peaches. But okay. Hobbs and Fidget are a little obscured by that boulder.
Okay. I was gonna dole out an inspiration. I'm going to give Duck inspiration.
E.
Be like, you got this.
Give a big thumbs up. Well, a little thumbs up.
Yeah, doesn't have any. None of you are within range for a legendary action, so he's not going to be using that. So Duck, that is you now.
Alright. You know what? Fuck it. Let's try that second level irradiated light speed again.
Nice.
You know what? I'm not rolling that die again. That's a 21 to hit.
21 hits, yes. As you throw this grenade, the gyros whir up on it, and it streaks in a bolt of light towards the same radiation kind of around the area.
Not great damage. 15 radiation.
It's still good. This thing is showing signs of definitely being hurt, as like it's like smoldering a little bit from some of these hits, and the blood. It's kind of like a little sluggish in its movements.
Thank God. Then I'm gonna move closer to everyone. Yeah. 5, 10, 20. Ooh.
Awesome. At the end of your turn, Fidget, that's you.
Okay. Move around here, fine. And oops, that's. And
Oh, and the next attack has advantage.
Next attack has advantage.
I always forget about that.
oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll use my ice spiker. All right. Yeah, there we go. 17 on one die, a 20 on the other. I've been rolling a lot of 20s tonight. I feel like that's gonna swing the other way at some point.
Nice.
I'm gonna like have to roll a saving throw to not get like eaten and get a 1 or something.
Ching.
Mark down your token.
Yep, don't forget your badass token.
Not bad. All right, 11 cryo damage.
Nice.
Not bad. So badass tokens. I meant to ask earlier.
Yeah.
So is that only on attack rolls, or like do skill checks count for that too?
Skill checks also count for that.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, I gotta mark
I
mine
meant for like
around
marking
here.
for like earning.
Oh, yep, nope, yeah, that applies for attack roll, saving throws, and ability checks.
Cool.
Anytime,
Because
basically, anytime you hit a nat 20.
Because I marked, I think, because I got like 2 nat 20s tonight already, not counting that one. And then I was gonna be like, hey, wait, do I count those for skill rolls too? All right, cool. Just making sure I was doing that right. Perfect. All right.
Remaining 15 or about 20 feet as he picks up a little bit off the ground, he is going to move right into all of you guys, basically. And he's going to make 2 fireball attacks here.
Oh, great.
One against... let me roll. Let me see. You got 4 of you right near it. Plus, first one's going to be a 2, so Duck, that's going to be you.
Great.
And the second one's going to be against Kimmy. Alright, so that is, I believe, going to hit you, Duck. That is a... Ooh, that's really high. Yeah, that's going to be a 25 to hit.
Yeah, that is.
And a...
Okay.
17 against you, Kimmy.
Like the spell fireball.
No.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Alright, so both Kimmy and Duck are going to take 16 points of fire damage.
That breaks my shield.
Alright, and then you will suffer the vulnerability, so an additional 2 points to anybody that has their shield broken at this attack. That's going to be its turn as it stays right here. And it hasn't gotten back to their turn yet, so actually Tegan's going to blast it with a shotgun. Ooh, natural 1 as Tegan's shotgun jams up. Bummer. Okay, then it is Hobbs.
Hobbs is going to I'd like to try and keep advantage here. So Hobbs is going to whip out the big gun, which I've decided is named Carmen. And so, yeah, we will roll for the big roll. Not good. Also not very good. 11? 11.
Unfortunately, 11 will not hit as you fire and this thing just happens to like out of the way of the bullet as it streaks by.
See.
Bummer. Alright, are you staying put?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the rock.
Alright, and then it is Peach's turn. This thing is still... Actually, he can actually leap and attack, so that's what he's gonna do.
Haha!
Now that this thing's only 20 feet high off the ground, Peaches can leap into the air and attack it with his flaming baton. Unfortunately, all of his weapons are fire-based, so... oh, and that's only a 10 to hit as he like leaps up and like swings at this thing and it just isn't able to connect with it. Tegan's going to once again unload the shotgun. Ooh, natural 4. Also miss. As the bullets just kind of like hit like non-vital parts of its like scaly exterior here. And then Celsus is going to fire and also miss as another mine is launched and misses out of the air. She's like, I started to think maybe this tactic isn't the best. I think I should try to do something else. As this other this other mine lands bloop, right there and starts beeping. So be careful going over there. There's a couple errant mines.
Jesus. Who are we fighting here?
Yeah. Dope. And then back up to Kimmy.
To activate my doppelganger protocol.
Nice. So two digi constructs appear, greatly resembling you, red and blue, and you may do what you like.
Alright, I'm going to use my bonus action to move one 15 feet in the air onto its back.
Oh shit.
Is that a thing I can do?
Okay, yeah, fuck it. I'll allow that.
I'm gonna tase you, bro.
Um,
Alright, then I'm gonna order them to both fire on it.
Okay. Wrist-mounted laser cannons that they hold up and just... go ahead, make your attack. That's +4 to hit.
Well, the one on the ground gets a nat 1.
Ooh. As its cannon
And-
suffers and it kind of glitches out.
The one on its back got a 12.
12 will not hit, unfortunately. Even at that such close range, it like fires off a blast into it, and the thing like kind of like rears up a little bit, but it doesn't seem to do any significant damage.
Fair enough.
Awesome. So that is your action. Do you have a bonus action you wish to use?
That was my bonus action.
Oh, moving them. That's right. Good call. All right, you staying put?
I'm going to step back under this tree again a little bit. Oop, that's a little too far.
All right. Moving.
I don't know what just happened. The screen freaked out.
It happens. Moving under cover. Perfect. Duck, that's you.
Okay. Oh, never mind. Can't do that. Okay.
Or actually, you know what? At the end of your turn, it's going to take a legendary action to try to hit this thing on its back. Yeah, that's going to be 24 to hit.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna hit it.
So your clone is going to take 6 points of piercing damage and 7 points of fire damage.
Alrighty. Hang on here.
And your clones have... their
3d10 plus my charisma modifier.
Yep. So your clone should still be up. All right,
Yes.
Duck, now it's your turn.
Kimmy, what's your AC?
14.
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely. I'm gonna do linked kinetic field and give you a +2.
Nice.
Oh, thank you.
Hold on a piece of tech and like a little nearly invisible tether leaks to her orb shield and Awesome.
I was debating between you and Tegan, but I know Tegan's pretty beefy,
Yep.
especially compared to that.
Dope. Awesome. And actually, is that you moving or you staying put?
I'll stay there. I don't want to group up yet.
All right. Fidget, that is you.
Ooh, sorry. I throw a fungus among us grenade.
Yeah.
If your digit clone isn't immune to acid, it's gonna hit it too.
Yes.
That's okay.
So a dexterity save throw.
All right.
Please fail.
Not great. That's a 13.
Oh yes, barely fails. Awesome. This is one of those dreaded save or suck situations. So if it saved, it just would have not done a fucking thing.
Right.
And I don't know. Do the digiclones have a dex save stat?
I do believe the digiclones, they don't have stats, so they would automatically fail dexterity throws.
That's what I was worried about. I was like, I think they automatically fail.
I'm not worried about it.
She has
All right,
another.
so and I know its turn is immediately after mine. So at the start of its turn, it takes 6 acid damage, and the clone would also.
Right. 6
Still
acid.
at the start of its turn, not now. Just the creature's taking 6 acid damage because its turn's starting right now.
Yeah.
And then I don't have anything special I want to do with a bonus action or anything.
All right. As this thing is like the acid, like the little fungus grows and pops on it, and it's part of its wing begins to kind of dissolve. Yeah, it's brutal. This thing is looking fucked up, but it is its turn. It gets its legendary actions back.
Great.
And let's see if it recharges its fire breath. Nope, does not recharge its fire breath. So instead, it's going to lob or hork up these flaming just spittle at. Let's see, who's it gonna hurl up at? It's gonna go Kimmy for your clone right there, and I guess it's gonna go for Peaches. It'll just hork up 2 right in that vicinity. That's a natural 1 against your clone, and a hit on Peaches. Who will then take 15 -1. Not great for him. Max is with that one, Peaches goes down. As Peaches is like, he's like, the fire consumes all. As he drops burning. And then let's see. He's starting to look pretty fatigued and flustered, so he's actually going to drop down about 10 feet. So he's only about 10 feet off the ground now. So, and then that is Hobbs.
Only 10 feet off the ground is pretty close. No, I'm going to stick with so I'm going to fire the big gun again.
Okay.
See if I can. I still am taking a knee, so I should have advantage. There we go. That's much better. So that's a dirty 20 and a 21.
Nice. Those will hit.
And I'm going to lay waste on this shot.
Nice.
I'll expend attack slot and add 2d8.
Fuck yeah. And an already ridiculously powerful railgun, you add explosive round charge to it.
Nice.
So that is 11, 14, that's 16 total, I guess, piercing damage.
Wow, nice. Boom. As the bullet just tears through and it dives. Geez, rough. This thing is looking brutalized.
It was exactly average damage for that roll.
Better than less than average.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Awesome. Anything else on your turn?
Bullet salve is a action or a bonus action?
An action, I believe.
I think that's it for me.
Okay. Bling, 5 feet, 10. Let's see. Duck, you are also 10. Peaches is down. Kimmy's clone. Dr. Celsus. Okay. As it's down closer to the ground, it's going to try to heft itself back into the air with great strain. It's going to beat its wings. And I need Duck. Kimmy, your clone, automatic fails. Tegan has to make a strength saving throw, not raging. But I think actually we'll still save against this thing. What is the dex save on it? 16? Yes, will actually just barely save against this thing. Celsus fails. And what'd you get for a duck? I need a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, dexterity. Okay, dirty 20. No,
Nice.
it's okay.
You also succeed, and do not take 2d6 plus 6 bludgeoning damage and get knocked prone.
Oh god, that probably would have put me out too.
But unfortunately, Kimmy, your clone, is going to take that. Is going to take low rolls. 5 plus 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh.
As it flickers, it does not get knocked prone. Peaches is going to fail a death saving throw, and Dr. Celsus is going to get knocked prone and take that same damage. Is thankfully not enough to knock her down. But close as she takes the hit, and she collapses, like it's just knocked on her ass, right next to you, Fidget, on the ground.
Like on the bright side, if she goes down, I'm right there.
It's true.
True.
And then that is who went before that? I can't remember. Let's see. That was a
I think
legendary
it's
action.
Yeah, Hobbs.
Hobbs. That's right. So now it's Peaches to make a death saving throw. Fails. 2 death saves down.
At least it wasn't in that one.
It was not, thankfully. Tegan is let's see, you did give Tegan bullets out, didn't you?
I did. Everyone but the doc and Peaches would have 2.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, Tegan, I just rolled a little wisdom check for Tegan, and she passed, so Tegan is going to move up and slather Peaches with the bullet salve, bringing Peaches back up to 1 hit point. As Peaches goes, the demons let go of my screaming soul! And, that's gonna be... Actually, you know what? Tegan can't take too many more hits, so Tegan's gonna rage. Actually, she's gonna do her Crunchy Bombardier rage, so she can access her tech, but still gain the damage resistance anyway. As she enters her Crunchy Bombardier,
Man, I wish D&D had something like that. We can still cast spells.
right? So good.
When Tegan rages, does she shout, "Stop bleeding at me"?
Yeah. Stop bleeding at me! Yes. Give me back my hit points!
Stop dying at me!
Playing as Krieg is the best way to play multiplayer in Borderlands 2. I fucking love that.
Absolutely.
Stop bleeding at me!
Celsus is going to try to fire another grenade, but unfortunately her machine malfunctions and the grenade drops right in front of her, and she goes, "Oh shit!" And is going to expend all of her movement to run away.
Bro.
As it begins beep, beep. She's like, "Sorry, malfunction. 1 out of 4.
God.
So there is an active mine beeping on the ground right there. And let me double check to make sure if it's within. Mine remains armed for 1 minute and its proximity triggered to use a motion detector sensors detonation when a creature moves within 10 feet of it. So
Fidget, don't move.
yeah, I think Fidget. Yeah, unless you have a means of moving very quickly like by means of some teleportation. Unfortunately, you are within splash zone of it. Ooh, also Peach is this. But he's technically Rakkinishu is only 10 feet hovering above it, so it is technically within 10 feet of it. So Rakkinishu might suffer a little bit from this as well. And yeah, okay. So Celsus is like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. Kimmy, that's you.
Oh goodness. All right. Kimmy's gonna run forward a little bit here, and I guess she's gonna use one of the health now vials on Peaches so he doesn't go down again after this thing explodes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that.
Oh yeah, 7 points of health back from the 2d4.
Nice.
All right, 7 points back to bringing him up to 8. Awesome. Yep.
I can't really see anybody else, so I'm gonna give Tegan inspiration.
Noise. What has you to say to Tegan?
Really? You got this!
She goes, oh, you know I do! Fantastic. And then I believe I think it's a free action, you can have your clones attack.
Yes. The red one got a 3, which obviously isn't gonna hit. And the blue one's got a 5, because I can't roll.
Unfortunately, yes, they are not the most powerful at this stage, but still, lots of, and speaking of which, at the end of your turn, it's going to attack the one on its back again. Ooh, and miss.
Hey.
A natural 1, the only way you could miss this thing. Duck, that's you.
Cool. I'm gonna save my last slot and fire a shot with my pistol.
Nice, go for it.
19?
19 hits, yes indeed.
Yeah. 7 points of explosive. Shoot, it's explosive.
So, Kimmy, your clone takes 7 points of damage on his back.
Okay,
Actually,
that clone's gone now.
well, it would only take a d4.
Okay.
Still, I rolled a 4. I'm so sorry.
Alright, so 4 points of damage to your clone on his back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shoot. Right. The clone. Well, the clone might be gone anyway because I forgot about the acid damage.
Oh, yep.
I'm so sorry. We're just beating up on this clone. I feel
the
so
health
bad.
points for my clones, I rolled it higher than my health points.
Also,
so they have like 30.
the clones, her Kimmy's action skill is named expendable assets.
Yeah.
I still feel
That's
bad.
fine.
But
Beating up
3
on them.
acid damage, is it still up?
what's that?
With 3 acid damage, is it still up?
Hang on, let me do a little math about it.
That would bring the total to 7. So if 7 points was going to kill you before, then it would definitely kill it now.
Yeah, shit. Alright.
Still though.
Yeah, that brings the blue one out.
Alright, blue one's gone. But, Duck, as you levy your pistol against this thing, tell me what happens.
Ooh. It's not looking at me, right?
It is not. It's currently facing more of this group of now 4 right here, as well as the thing that was on its back.
Cool, I'll shoot it right in the butthole then.
Right through the tailpipe as the bullet just like travels up through internal organs, exiting through like one of the shoulder joints, and it tries to flap its wings, but its one arm is mangled and is starting to dissolve from the acid, and it just collapses.
I was gonna shoot it in the eye, but I'll just shoot it in the other eye.
There you go, the brown eye.
I'm so sorry, that was gross.
It's bad and you should feel bad.
But yeah, with a total of 135 hit points, this thing drops. As it collapses to the ground. Now, the only thing is, we still have this mine to deal with. So.
Here was my plan, though. On my turn, what I was going to do
Mm-hmm.
was I was going to try to phase lock the mine.
Okay. Roll a tech check.
All right.
You want to beat a 15.
Oh, dirty 20.
Right as this thing falls, you reach out, boom, grab this. The hand pops up, encasing this thing into the bubble. As acid around the bubble, and then drops to the ground and dissolves into the ground.
Like, oh my god, I can't believe that worked. I'm happy it worked, but
Celsus runs over to you and like grabs your shoulders in her arms. He's like, "You are absolutely brilliant!" Dope. After a little while, these other mines just kind of deactivate after a set amount of time, and this thing has collapsed to the ground. The Spawn of Rakkinishu. As you guys approach the now dead body, you see this is a monstrous rak. Its like wingspan is like easily like approaching 30 feet. Its body is a lot more slender, and it has like almost like a hornet type mouth that like kind of those mandibles. And as it's dying, its mandibles are just like as like the life leaves it. But you do see around its neck appears to be some kind of metal collar with like a box featured under its neck. It does appear to be electronically locked.
Interesting.
Everybody just like looks over at Fidget.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tech check this collar.
You can do it. Yeah, give me a tech check.
I only got an 11.
Looking at this thing, it doesn't. It would seem as though you might be able to hack it.
Oh.
So
okay.
With the tech check, you can see that it does seem to have some kind of like electronic lock that you could like slide your hacking device into and try to hack it that way. So if you want to give me a hacking check, you certainly can.
Yeah. All right. This is my forte. 18.
Nice. That was better than what you needed, a DC 15. So as you're programming away at this, you're like, I think I almost, and then the box like opens, just like, whoop, and you see drop out of it a blue glowing crystal. If anyone can give me, I'll give you one, your choice of nature, lore, or history.
Lore.
Ooh,
I got a 15 for lore check.
23 nature.
Ooh, shit.
Natural 19.
I didn't beat
Dang.
either of those.
So I got let's say that's a 15 for history from Hobbs.
Alright, I think Duck, everyone definitely notices this crystal as it hits the ground, and, it's certainly, like, glowing with, like, this strange kind of, like, energy to it, but, Duck, you recognize this thing from reading some of your, some kind of advanced tech theory, that this is a serif crystal.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a powerful, I suppose you could say, cousin to Iridium. Sorry, it's not bluish, my bad. It glows with a pinkish kind of red hue. And as you guys walk up to inspect it further, you find that it is fixed with a metal band that's kind of wrapped around the center of it. And inscribed in that band, it says, "You defeated the beast through cunning and might. Now present the crystal when the time is right." And you see sitting next to it on the ground, having also fallen out of this mechanical contraption around his neck, is a watch, like a pocket watch.
Huh.
And on the back of the pocket watch is this strange symbol inscribed on it. It appears to be kind of like a coat of arms featuring a rifle, a handgun, a knife, and a compass. And the clock doesn't appear to be functioning, as it appears to be stuck at 6:42.
Interesting.
Rifle, a handgun, a what, and a compass?
The insignia has a rifle, a handgun, like a hunting knife, and a compass. And that's inscribed on the back of like this pocket watch that's like the size of the palm of your hand. And it is stuck at 642.
Fidget's just like, I don't know what's scarier here. This giant fire-breathing rack, or the fact that somebody put this collar on this thing.
That's what I was thinking too.
How did they even manage?
But as you guys all cluster around the dead and smoldering body of the slain Spawn of Rakkinishu, with new mysteries to yet unfold, this is where we will end our session of Vaults.
Proof of completing the bounty.
So with these mysteries pounding around your head, this is where we will end our tale of Vaults and Villains.
To be
Somebody in my
continued.
apartment. Oh, go ahead. What'd you say?
To be continued.
I was just thinking, present this when the time is right. The time is right. Boom, you put it down on a shop counter.
Scene cut.
$500, please.
Fucking easiest riddle I ever solved.
Meanwhile, there's some like chosen one somewhere, like waiting.
Yeah.
Right? I wonder where they're gonna show up.
Yeah.